Hi, Staar speaking here. Okay, I'm coming to you today from sunny downtown San Diego. I've still got my hotel room for another couple of hours and a fast internet connection. So what I thought I'd do is I'd make you a quick video about some advanced strategies to do with email marketing. So what I thought I'd do is make you this video on advanced strategies. Hope that's okay. And what I'd like to show you today are some of the kind of like more advanced things that people are doing in the industry. Plus, I'm going to be making a load more of these videos for you, and I'm also going to be putting together a training course for you on advanced email marketing, how you can make the most money from email marketing. But today, what I want to cover are kind of like a couple of things, and this is really important, and this is kind of like where the whole email marketing side of things is going. So the first thing, obviously, is knowing where getting to know exactly who your customer is. That's the most important thing. What age they are, what gender they are, the typical person that buys your stuff, and that's really important to know because when you know the kind of people that you're targeting, it then becomes very, very easy to do email. Well, basically, it becomes very, very easy to do advertising to add more people to your email list. So that's the first thing we're going to cover today. The second thing we're going to cover is basically the kind of like the new way that everybody's doing email marketing these days, or very few people are doing this, but this is certainly the new way which I'm doing email marketing, and that is basically not treating all your clients the same way. So what a lot of people do is when they have an email list and they send emails out to their list, they'll send the same email out to everybody, and that's completely the wrong thing to do. So it's all about kind of like dividing your list up into different sections, and that's what we call segmentation, and treating everybody differently. So we may have some people who respond to different things or different offers in different ways. So I'm going to talk a little bit about all of those. I know it's a little bit complicated, but what I wanted to do is show you some of the more advanced strategies that people are doing. Okay, let's just get rid of that pop-up. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is add people to our email list. So once you have the first few hundred people on your email list, or if you have an existing email list, you really want to analyze that list and find out what are the types of people on that list, how old are they, what age are they, basically, what age are they, what gender are they, the kind of stuff they like, so that we can go out there and find more of that type of person, if that makes sense. Because as an example, there's no point in advertising to, let's say, women in their 20s if 99% of your email list is made up of men in their 50s, as an example. So we don't want to pay to advertise to people that are never going to be interested in what you have to offer. So the way I do this is basically once every 6 months or so, I download my email list from my autoresponder. So if you have Aweber, GetResponse, Infusionsoft, any email provider will allow you to do this. You can basically download your email list into like an Excel spreadsheet or a text document and save that to your computer. So this is something that you can only do once you've got, a few hundred people on your list, maybe 1,000 people on your list. But once you've done that, then you need to start looking at your list. So you want to download your email list to your computer. Then what you can do is you can go to Facebook. And the great thing about Facebook is we can actually upload our email list to Facebook, and Facebook can actually analyze our list for us, which is really, really cool. So what we do is we come to audiences here in your Facebook advertising account, and we click on create audience, okay, and we click on here where it says custom audience, and basically what we do is here we click on here where it says customer list, okay, and we upload a file because it's going to be like an Excel spreadsheet or like a text document, and then we just literally click on here upload file, we find it on our computer, and then we click on create audience. Now what this is actually going to do is we're going to be uploading our email list to our Facebook advert account, and what Facebook will actually do is cross-reference all the people on your email list who actually have Facebook accounts. Not everybody will, but a lot of people will. And what Facebook actually does is, of course, Facebook has all the information about these subscribers. So they have, their age, their gender, what interests them, etc., etc. Plus, the other thing Facebook do is Facebook actually buy a lot of information from people like credit card companies, banks, mortgage companies. They buy data from what are called data aggregators. So if you ever had one of those like loyalty cards in the supermarket, or if you've ever had a credit card, applied for a mortgage, any of that kind of stuff, all that information is sold to what are called credit aggregating agencies, okay? Okay, and then people like Facebook buy that data and plug it into their advertising network so that people like us can use that data in really cool ways. And this is what we're going to do now. So once we've uploaded our email list, we can actually then use that list within Facebook and analyze our list. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to go back to my ad manager. And Facebook actually have this really cool tool called Audience Insights. You'll find it here on the left-hand column. And we go to Audience Insights. Okay, and it asks us what we want to do. So we can Audience Insights, basically we can use it as a market research tool. We can use it in various different ways. We can actually build a list on Facebook to advertise to, or we can actually analyze an existing list, which is what we're going to do now. So I've already uploaded my email list, and so what we can do is we can either analyze everyone on Facebook, people connected to a Facebook page. So if you have a Facebook page already where loads of people have liked that page, you can do pretty much the same thing, or a custom audience. So I'm going to click on custom audience because I've uploaded a file already with my email list. And then we come over here to the left-hand side, okay, and I called this one full list. So I actually did one last year. So I'm going to look at my email list from January 2014, or let's do September. I did one on the 23rd of September. Okay. So I've just loaded in my email list, my full email list there. And what we can do is we can now start looking at exactly who is on this list. So we can see here my email list from, this is quite an old list actually I've uploaded. I've got a much more modern one now, but back in September last year, my email list was comprised of 35% women, 65% men, and we can straight away see here that the age group is actually slightly older. So we're looking at kind of 30% of the people are 55 to 64, which is really interesting. So we can see here 45 to 54, 20%, and we can look here that people in their 20s only comprises of 10%. So if I'm doing any kind of paid advertising, I wouldn't really want to be advertising to people in their 20s because there's very, very few people who are interested in my stuff who are in their 20s. It kind of really, I would, I mean, to be honest, when I'm advertising now, I tend to only advertise to people in the kind of like, between 40 and 60. And the reason I do that is because I know by looking at this data that this is where most of my customers are coming from. These are the people on my list in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So this is why this information here is gold. When you're paying to advertise, you only want to pay to advertise to the people that are most likely going to be signing up to your stuff. So that's really, really important. So we know the gender, we know the age, which is really, really important. And we can look at some other things here, lifestyle, relationships, whether they're married or not. I don't really pay much attention to that. But we've got some really useful information here. Okay, sorry about that. Just had somebody knocking on my door wanting to clean the room. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so we've also got some really cool things like we can see kind of pages they've liked, which doesn't seem to be working today. But we've got also things like, let's see, activity. This is quite useful. This tells us kind of like the technology they're using to access the internet, which is always very useful. So we can see here that most of the people, these types of people, tend to be using desktop computers. So that's really important information to know. It's probably because they're not the younger generation. So we can see here, where are we? So mobile is we can see here it's only 15%, and we can see here that only 5% of them are using iPads, 15% of them are using Android, etc., etc. So that probably actually explains why my testing with mobile advertising hasn't worked very well, because not many of these people use mobile phones to access the internet. Really interesting. Obviously, if my target demographic here was a much younger group, then probably mobile advertising would work and I'd see it straight away by looking at this. So looking at this sort of information is really useful. If I looked at this and I saw that most of them were using mobile phones to connect to the internet, then mobile advertising probably would be the way to go. But we can see here that most of them are using desktop computers to access the internet, which is that's personally why I actually use desktop advertising on Facebook and Google and Bing, really only as the primary way to build my list. So really useful information. The other thing which we can actually see as well is how much money these people earn, and this is pretty accurate because remember, Facebook do buy information from the banks and mortgage companies and things like this, and we can see here that we've got 25% of people are earning $50,000 to $75,000, so that's pretty good. Only 15% of people are earning $30,000 to $40,000, and we can see here that we've got 10% of the list are earning. So we got 10% of the list are earning like 250 to 350K. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So we've got some high earners on the list, and we've also got some low earners, but we can see the kind of like the average is 50 grand to 75 grand. We can also see the household size and the kind of spending models, etc., etc. So we can see here that 95% of my email list uses a bank card, which is pretty cool. And we can see some other information here, which is pretty cool. So this information is very, very useful whenever you're doing paid advertising. So I hope you found that useful. And it's just a really good way to kind of like get an idea of the types of people who are on your list. Also, when you're writing emails, the kind of emails which you want to be putting together. So if I looked at this and I saw that actually most of the people on my list were in their 20s, then the kind of videos and the kind of emails I'll be writing will probably be slightly different to the kind of emails which I do write. So that's also very important to bear in mind. The other thing to kind of like to note is I touched on this earlier, and that is not treating everybody on your email list kind of like the same. And I think that's really another video which I'm going to have to create because it's kind of like quite a complex subject. But what that basically means is having quite advanced follow-up sequences where we're treating people differently depending on what they click on and what they do. It's called behavioral marketing, and it's really kind of, I would say, massively, well, it's massively increased the amount of money I make from my email sequences, and probably, I would say, brings me in 50% more revenue simply because I'm not just sending the same email out to everybody when they join my list. I'm sending different emails out to different people depending on what they do. And just to give you an example of how this works with a webinar, I've got, let me just bring up, okay, so I've got a webinar email sequence here. It looks a little bit complicated, so I just wanted to show you some of these advanced strategies because I know some of you are in the more advanced stage and just want to let you know what technically is possible. So don't freak out when you see this complicated diagram. So what I basically do is when I do a webinar is people sign up to the webinar here. They get like an email reminder sequence and there's like a delay. And then they attend the webinar. Now, when people attend the webinar, some people will attend the webinar, some people won't attend the webinar because they're too busy. So I basically split these people out into two separate email sequences. So I have separate emails which go out to people who did attend the webinar. So that's like a recap, telling them about the offer, telling them objections which may have been had during the webinar. And then the people who didn't attend the webinar get a completely different follow-up sequence. So this is really aimed about going and watching the replay, getting people to watch the replay, etc., etc. So different emails going out to different people. Plus, if they purchase the product in the webinar, then they are taken off this email list, obviously, and taken on to the next stage in the sequence. But I just wanted to show you that, just to kind of like show you what's possible and how I'm kind of filtering and segmenting my email list. And I think, like I said, that will be a separate video for you. If you like these advanced strategies, do let me know because I'm not sure if they're for everybody. If you would like to see some more kind of like advanced stuff, advanced strategies, please do comment below this video, and I'll see you next time, probably from a bright and sunny UK.